I'm pretty comfortable saying that was the bottom, right?
Interesting. Okay.
Hey, look, I thought the bottom was 17.8 on June 15th. I really thought that was the bottom.
Right.
But I said I didn't see FTX being a complete fraud. That wasn't on my bingo card. So, we lost another couple grand to that. That's actually pretty good. I think we're in pretty good shape. Now, when I say pretty good shape, I mean, I think this is a short squeeze. I think we'll have a retracement, a pullback. I think it's still positive. And short of a liquidation of GBTC, I think we are in the beginnings of the accumulation phase again.
Welcome back to Market Empire. Mark Yusko, a veteran of the hedge fund industry and an investor in cryptocurrencies, recently joined the ranks of prominent market participants who anticipate a bottom for Bitcoin following the FTX crash in November. From a previous low of around $18,000, Bitcoin has fallen to a bear market low of $15,500. An experienced investor claims that the low point and beginning of crypto spring occurred in the previous $18,000 range. Yusko claims the unsteady weather is typical for spring now that the scandal involving former crypto billionaire and FTX founder Hurricane Sam has passed. Yusko thinks we're finally getting back on track for spring and about to enter the lovely thaw that leads to summer. The veteran fund manager speculates that Bitcoin may experience a brief retracement that would send the price back to the $18,000 zone. Yusko claims that if this does occur, it won't be all that strange, but rather one of the last harbingers of summer. He's confident too that the changeover won't take long. He even leaves open the possibility that Bitcoin will hit a new all-time high in 2023 or early 2024. While Yusko is not solely focused on Bitcoin, he does believe that the next halving will cause Bitcoin's price to spike to $100,000 between the halving and the expected peak period roughly a year later. As part of his interview with Paul Barron, he also lists the 4 cryptocurrencies he believes will perform exceptionally well in the years ahead.
There were a lot of good charts that said 10 to 12 was really the lower level that we should have hit, and we didn't get there. So
yeah.
Now look, GBTC unravels, Tether turns out to be a total fraud.
That's a different
Deltec Bank is running money for some crime syndicate. Yeah, okay.
For sure. Now we got black swans.
Then maybe 10 to 12 comes into play. But I don't think anything lower than that. And I'm very comfortable saying the 15 was it, and we're back into spring. I'm not even sure we're gonna head back through the 18 level. I think the best thing to watch is higher lows and higher highs. So as long as we keep making higher lows, I'm comfortable that we're in a bull period. This was definitely a short squeeze, right? The last 3 weeks, total short squeeze
for sure.
Now we need to see signs of accumulation. If we see signs of accumulation, that'll be really, really good. And I said, my belief is April, May is the beginning of the 9-month run through the halving, which said
we'll see some ebbs and flows in there for sure.
100 is on the table, right?
Interesting.
I think we're going to add a 0. I think we're going to 10x the market cap, and we're going to back to that 3 trillion level. And we're going to the 3 trillion level. And I think that's coming. And it doesn't have to come tomorrow, and it doesn't even have to come next month or even by April, May. I think it's Q1, Q2 of next year, and that 24 is the peak before we go. But the big point I wanted to make that I forgot about earlier was you got the fundamentals on one side, and then you have the monetary piece on the other side. And here's the thing, Bitcoin and gold, but because they're both one and the same, don't like quantitative tightening. They don't like money supply growth shrinking. So we actually have had, in recent months, the first time in 60 years, 60, money supply actually shrink.
Interesting.
So if, and again, that's capital I, capital F, if the Fed follows. See, Japan already pivoted.
Right.
Japan unleashed a tidal wave. I mean, tidal wave of liquidity. And you look at the yen went from 153 to 128, like almost instantaneously. I mean, crazy. I mean, Kuroda-san is crazy. I mean, the dude is, otherworldly when it comes to printing money. So that was first. Second, China has increased their credit impulse, starting in kind of May, June of last year, and I think they're going to, unlock from COVID zero, and I think they could stimulate $500 billion. I mean, a big number. So if the Fed follows, then that'll be good. Because the thing that people forget, one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. We don't price it in Bitcoin, we price it in dollars. So the reason that Bitcoin goes up over time isn't because Bitcoin gets better, it's just a Bitcoin. It's because the dollar's getting worse. And so when we're quantitative tightening, the dollar got strong, which meant the price of Bitcoin went down. Now, as the dollar's getting weak, and the dollar's been in free fall, right, since October. I mean, absolute free fall. DXY just getting crucified.
Sure, yeah.
And so if the Fed follows through, then I see a big tailwind for Bitcoin, gold, and all stores of value. I used to say form your base, Bitcoin, Avalanche, Solana, Ethereum. I might modify that. I might ditch Solana. I think it was a Sam coin or scam coin a little bit. I think there's a lot of good development on Solana. I think there's a lot of good projects on Solana, but unfortunately, I think that was one of the manipulated. It's not as bad as Serum or FTT or Oxy or a couple of the others, but so I'd probably take Solana out of there, and I'd probably swap in Polkadot and Cosmos. So that doesn't make a very good mnemonic, but I'd probably pull Solana out of that 6 and keep the other 5. Because the reason I like those 5 is I'm not sure whether right now we have 5 protocols that govern the internet. So there's there's IP at the bottom, Internet Protocol, and there's TCP/IP, then there's FTP, SMTP, HTTP, www. All right. I can argue that on top of Web3 is Bitcoin is the base layer, Filecoin is FTP, Ethereum is www, and Cosmos, Polkadot, Avalanche are SMTP, HTTP, I don't know which ones. So we end up with 5 or 6. Or I could make a case, kind of, not as well as the maxis, that it's Bitcoin always, Lightning, L3, L4 that haven't been developed yet, and who knows on top, and that there is no other L1s. Or I could make the case that Bitcoin, Ethereum, Avalanche, Polkadot, Cosmos, and then we have bridges and interconnectivity, interoperability. I'm not smart enough technically, Paul, to tell you which one of those is going to happen.
Well, you made a pretty good pick a year ago, so you're doing pretty good. I mean, you held in some pretty good tokens there.
It's okay, but look, I think the key to investing in this ecosystem is diversification.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket. You want to have a big chunk in Bitcoin, fine, but if you think about it, if Bitcoin is as successful as we all think it will be, it won't be the best performing. Full stop.
For sure.
Right? Just because
it's going to get to
the
that
largest.
point.
It's just the law of large numbers, right? You're not going to go from 400 billion today. Even if you go to 4 trillion, that's a 10-bagger. Okay. Ethereum at, I don't know what Ethereum is, 180, maybe 200 billion. If it gets to 4 trillion, that's twice as much. Almost 200. So that's almost twice as much. But if Avalanche actually becomes that intermediate layer, or becomes a bridge to connect, Ethereum and big, I don't know, but it could be, maybe a 50x. And so I think you want to diversify your portfolio, not to if you want to speculate on the dog coins, be my guest. I'm not going to do it with you. People want to do that. To me, that's literally gambling. just literally gambling. It's like buying AMC or GameStop, and you want to gamble that there's a greater fool, knock yourself out. Maybe someday there's a developer that does something that Doge and Shiba can do something, but I don't.
Who knows?
So, but look,
change.
I got a debate with a guy I really respect and admire, and he said, "No, there's value in memes." I'm like, well, no,
depends on who you're talking to.
but I believe his point, which is it's reflexivity, like Soros said. The fact that people believe it makes it so. And it is true, right? I mean, it's Dogecoin's a $10 billion asset or $11 billion asset.
Yep.
People believe it. Now, the problem is, who would they all sell it to?
Which of the following do you believe will take place first? An upward rebound to 25,000 or a retracement to 18,000 as Mark Yusko forecasts? Leave a comment with your ideas below, and we appreciate you tuning in to Market Empire. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel.